Good evening, everyone. I welcome you to Global Education Zone, and this is chemistry course. So today we'll be talking about separation techniques. So in your chemistry course, you've probably talked about separation techniques, and before that, you've probably talked about compounds and mixtures. So if you've not heard of compound and mixtures, a compound is basically a combination of two or more elements together, and they are chemically combined together. Chemically combination is just like when you have, I like likening it to like your brother or your sister, your sibling at home, your family members. So they are like your compounds. You and them have like compound relationship. Like you and them, you are chemically bound together. Like you don't just know how, you just go along together. But then your friends outside, you can have a friend now, and you can just like you don't want to have the friend again. You and that friend will just fight, and you are not friends anymore. But when it comes to your family, right, you just can't say I'm not your friend anymore, except if it's kind of like a serious issue. So that's how chemistry also works, because in compounds are chemically bonded together. That chemically bonded together does not mean they cannot be separated, but it just means that they are difficult to separate. But mixtures are very easy to separate. So compounds are just like relationship between family members, while mixtures are just like the relationship between friends, ordinary friends. So and for those mixtures, we talk about separation techniques. Separation techniques are simply the way you separate mixtures. So and what is in the mixture, you don't call it a component, you call it a constituent, because it's just constitution. It's just like constituted, like something that you bring garri, you bring sugar, you bring groundnut, you bring everything. You can still separate those two things. But if you cook maybe rice and whatever, and maybe no maybe jollof rice, you cannot separate the rice from the oil. The rice has already made the oil has already entered the rice, you get. So that's how it is. So those mixtures, they are easily separated. So and the first one we're talking about is sieving. Sieving is used to separate solids of different sizes. So and the second one we're talking about is magnetic separation. Magnetic separation is used like when you have, it's used in industries where you have where they manufacture these iron instruments. So when you extract iron, we're talking about that later in the course, talking about metals, non-metals, and extraction of metals. So when you extract all these metals, they kind of have impurities. Just like you cannot get a pure metal, you have to have it impure. So for you to get that pure metal, you have to separate it from its impurities. And you can also use magnetic separation if it is a magnetic metal. So the next one we're talking about is sublimation. Sublimation is like the way you separate something that sublimes from what does not sublime. And when you say something sublimes, it just converts from gas to solid and from solid to gas. So basically from solid to gas. So just like ammonium chloride, and ammonium compounds, iodine, naphthalene. So those are chemical compounds that can convert from solid to gas directly. And another good example is the camphor that you use to put in your clothes to make it smell nice. When you put camphor in your clothes to keep insects away, to make it smell nice, it's a white spherical solid like this. So that camphor basically just converts from solid to gas, because when you keep it, it's a big lump, right? Then when you go back the next maybe 1 month or so, that's if you don't usually wash your clothes much. So if you go back the next 1 month or maybe 1 week or 2 weeks, you see that it has reduced in size. Get. So that thing does not. Back to chemistry. So the remaining separation techniques we'll be talking about are decantation, filtration, and centrifuging. And those three separation techniques, what's common about them is that they are used to separate substances that